on location at the Glass House of Pain in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some garage gym gear essentials. Basically going over the tools and the equipment you need if you want to have a solid, well-equipped gym at your house. Now, before I get into all of that, I always like to tell people right up front, if you have the time and the financial means to be able to go to a good local CrossFit gym, I can't recommend that enough. The people there are amazing, the community is good, you can push each other, you can work out together with people. It's an amazing experience. However, I realize that some people that's just not an option. For me, I have 2 jobs, extracurricular activities, a family. It's just not feasible for me to leave and to pay money to go do that. But my wife and I agreed that when we got married, we wanted to stay fit, we wanted to stay active, and as a man especially, it is important for me to stay fit, to stay active, and to stay healthy for my family. So we made it a commitment. So what we did was, when my wife and I lived in our very first apartment, we invested in a few small pieces of equipment to help us on this journey. We bought a set of adjustable dumbbells, an exercise mat, and one of these infomercial pull-up bars. Now don't laugh, these things can be fantastic tools if you actually use them for what they're intended for. Put it up in your bedroom door frame. Every time you go in and out of your bedroom, do a few chin-ups, do a few pull-ups. You'd be surprised how quickly you can get, how much stronger you can get in a short amount of time using these tools. And really, it's that simple. We worked out for months on end. I would be in the hallway, my wife would be in the bedroom, we'd be doing all sorts of body weight exercises, using these dumbbells on the mats, using the pull-up bar, and we got it done. Now, when we bought our house, we decided that we wanted to upgrade our gym. So we started slowly over time building up. And one of the first things we decided to buy when we got our gym in our new house was a good quality pull-up bar. I cannot recommend enough a good solid pull-up bar for your garage gym or your basement gym. There's so many different exercises you can do with a pull-up bar. Pull-ups, chin-ups, toes to bar. If you have the space, muscle-ups, all sorts of different things you can do. It's an amazing tool that you can use to get stronger. Now, the next thing that I always recommend for people to get, especially if they want to get serious about getting strong, about losing weight, about getting in shape, is they need to invest in a good bar and squat stand setup. Now, this is where the sticker shock comes in, because if you look online, you're going to notice this stuff is very expensive. And there's a reason for that. This is not junk. You do not want to buy junk when you get set up for a bar and a squat stand setup. If you're going to be lifting heavy weight, if you're going to be lifting this stuff over your head, you want to know that the equipment you're using is safe and reliable. So look to spend a couple $100s on a good stand and bar setup, okay? Believe me, it'll pay for itself over time when you look good, okay? The next thing I always tell people, especially if they want to get in some really good shape, and if you're doing CrossFit type exercises or workouts, you need to invest in a good set of bumper plates, a good 45, 25, 10s, and so on. Because that will enable you to lift really heavy weights safely, to drop it in case you need to, which will keep not only you safe, but it'll also save you from breaking your garage or your house. So and look to invest in that. Another good tool, this is kind of a craze that came not too long ago, but kettlebells are a fantastic tool to use. I have a her weight and his weight kettlebells because my wife and I enjoy working out together. We also have friends that come over and work out. So you'll see in the background I have a couple different bar setups. I have different sized kettlebells, the dumbbells, because when people come into my gym to work out or to have fun and get fit, we don't all start out at the same place. So we need to be able to do that. Same thing for you. You might start out at a faster pace than a friend or your wife or your spouse or whoever it might be. So it's always nice to have a few options to use. Plus, you can use different workouts with different weights. So we have a couple kettlebells. You can see in the back, jump ropes. The jump rope is a fantastic tool to use for a cardio base. One of the other things I recommend too for people is some people say, well, Sean, we don't have the money to do all this up front. It's really tough. Believe me, I understand. It took me a long time to build this gym up. But a few of the things that we did to save money was we made some of our own gym equipment. If you look here, you can see this is a 20-pound medicine ball. We took an old basketball, filled it with sand, sealed it, wrapped it in duct tape. It's a great tool to use. You can throw it, you can spin, you can slam it, you can do all sorts of different stuff, and it holds up really well. It cost me, I think, $5, and most of that was sand and some duct tape. The other thing we did was I printed the plans off online, and some friends of mine and I built a box jump. Standard 24-inch box made out of plywood, painted it black. It's a great tool, jumping on it, doing box squats, lunges, all sorts of different stuff that you can do off of it. Again, I think the wood cost me $20, and with a friend and some saw and some screws, Boom. Usable tool on the cheap. The other thing I recommend for people too, especially if you want to do a lot of body weight exercises, is you need to have a good set of floor mats to use. This is mostly padding so you can lay down, you can roll around, do your push-ups, your sit-ups, your squats, lunges, burpees, all sorts of good stuff. That way you don't hurt yourself. You guys, you can work out together. It's all sorts of good stuff. Another thing I always recommend for people, and as you can see it's actually sitting on the ground, is a punching bag. A good solid punching bag that you can use for all sorts of cardio, all sorts of punching, kicking combinations. As you can see, we used it so much we actually broke the chain. So I actually need to get a new chain for that. But that's another great tool. You and a partner can take turns doing punching combinations. You can grapple with it. It's a great cardio tool to use, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a great stress reliever. Now, this isn't an essential by any means, but I absolutely love this. This is a Concept 2 rower. It's a very, very expensive piece of equipment. It costs over $1,000 typically, but I absolutely love rowing. If you've ever rowed before, or you find that the pain cave that you enter when you row is something you enjoy, this is something to save up for. It's a great tool to use. And again, I enjoy rowing a lot. But again, this is not an essential because it's a very expensive piece of equipment. I would buy pretty much everything else in this gym if you were looking to start out before I even looked at buying a rower. Okay? So this is basically it. This is my home gym. This is where I train people out of. I've had anywhere from me and a partner all the way up to 15 people in here and in my garage and in my driveway training at once. Really, all it takes if you want to get into shape is it takes a little motivation. It takes some discipline and a heck of a lot of hard work, but it can be done, it can be fun, and you can be healthier, happier, and fitter for it. So that's it. Thanks for taking the time to walk through my gym. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you have any ideas or anything that you want for us to do as future Doomsday Gym features,